And then it was, I think, more than a decade later when Richard Schultz's one of his graduate students, a guy called Homer Pinkley, was in the rainforest, I think in Ecuador, but my memory might fail me here. And he was invited to an ayahuasca ceremony. He observed the brew being made, and the following morning he kind of rooted around in the cauldron that was used to make the brew, and he found a few leaves that had escaped the boiling intact and some seeds, and he was able to make a formal identification of this plant, which they call oprito, which means little heavenly men, which is kind of a clue in there, perhaps, knowing what we know about DMT now. And he identified it as Psychotria viridis, also known as chacruna. The leaves were sent for chemical analysis, and they were found to contain DMT, and basically nothing else. So this was the first clue. Richard Schultz then went back to Burroughs's letter that he'd written more than a decade earlier and found that actually Burroughs had indeed collected the same leaf that his graduate student would later identify. So really, William Burroughs should be given the credit for discovering the important DMT containing component of ayahuasca. But even that wasn't the end of the story, of course, is because just a couple of years before that discovery, or a few years before that discovery, Stephen Zara, who discovered the psychedelic properties of DMT, the Hungarian physician, he had worked out by swallowing large amounts of pure DMT that it's not orally active. So it didn't make any sense. Still, the story didn't make any sense, because why would you have this visionary drink containing a DMT containing plant which is completely inactive orally? And what the hell is this carpy vine doing in there anyway? Why is that there? And so it took, again, more research of the kind of pharmacological properties of the Harmala alkaloids, because the Harmala alkaloids were being studied as a treatment for Parkinson's disease. And it was discovered, observed that the Harmala alkaloids are very powerful inhibitors of this enzyme that's found in the gut, but also throughout the body, monoamine oxidase. This family of enzymes. And so it was kind of the hypothesis that developed from this was that, maybe the Harmala alkaloids in the vine are inhibiting the monoamine oxidase enzymes, which we knew are important for metabolizing amines, which includes tryptamines, and which of course includes DMT. So that was the first. That was kind of the eureka moment